James here from goodguitarist.com, and today we're going to learn Karma Police by Radiohead. Let's just take a quick look at what we'll be learning. Karma Police, I'm giving all I can, it's not enough, I'm giving all I can, but we're still on the payroll. This is what you'll get. This is what you'll get. This is what you'll get when you mess with us. Pretty straightforward in terms of its construction. It's just two distinct sections, uses a lot of basic chords, a really basic strumming pattern, but there are a couple of bar chords in here, and I'm going to show you some simpler ways to play them. But ultimately, this is a great song when you're trying to get into bar chords because it just has a few and they're all the same shape. Now, before we get started, if you haven't grabbed your copy of my free ebook, I'll put a link for that down below. It's completely free for all my subscribers. And while you're down there, if you could take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video, if you enjoy learning guitar with me, I'd really appreciate that. Either way, let's jump straight into the verse. Here are the chords. So we're starting with A minor, and then we're going into D over F sharp. And for that one, coming from an A minor chord, I'm going to leave my ring finger down, put my middle finger on the second fret of the thickest string, and then add my pinky to the third fret of the B string. You're totally welcome to play it the usual way, where your index is on the thickest string, then middle, and then ring. But for me, that's like when I'm coming from a G chord, that's how I do it. I leave my ring finger down. But in this case, I'm coming from A minor. I'm gonna leave my ring finger down in this way on the second fret of the G string, and it turns out really nice and smooth. And then we can bring our middle and ring finger together to make an E minor. So we have a really smooth set of switching. A minor, D over F sharp, E minor, and then we get into our G chord. Once again, we're back to A minor, and then we're gonna go to F. And we can play an F bar chord, or you can leave your index finger down from that A minor, lift the others, put your middle finger on the second fret of the G string, your pinky finger on the third fret of D, and then your ring finger on the third fret of the A string. Cover the thickest string with your thumb. Just lightly touch it. Doesn't have to reach all the way around. And that gives you a pretty good, almost F bar chord. Then we have another E minor, G, basic stuff. We're actually going to stop there and add our strumming pattern to what we've learned so far. Our strumming pattern goes like this. And that's one of the three most common patterns. I have plenty of videos covering it, but we'll just quickly break it down. On beat 1, we're playing a downstroke. And then on beat 2, we're playing a root, which is just like a tiny little downstroke that aims at the thicker strings. So that's pretty straightforward. 1, 2, and then on 3, another down, and on 4, a down, up, 4, and we just counted out 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and I recommend being able to play it a bunch of times, slow and steady over a single chord shape or even muted strings. And if you're having trouble with it, like I said, I have so many other resources designed to help you get there. I'll put plenty of links down below for you. Anyways, we're going to add that to our chord progression. I'm going to set my metronome to 104 beats per minute, which is much slower than the original recording. It's more like 155 or something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. the second half of our verse is a lot of the same stuff, except we are going to be integrating the B minor chord here. And there is a bit of like a rhythmic event. So let's just walk through all of that. We start off going from A minor to D, strumming pattern 1 time each. And then here we're going to play G to D over F sharp. And notice I'm leaving my ring finger down and playing it in a different way because I'm coming from a G chord. And then from there we play C and then B minor. And we're doing 1 stroke each. So we're going like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, instead of strumming them. And when it comes to that B minor shape, we can play the barre chord if you're ready, which by the way, to get that shape, we just play A minor, but saving our index finger. Then we go up 1, 2 times, and then we bar the 2nd fret with our index. There's obviously a lot more to it than just putting your fingers in the right spot. You know, there's a whole technique thing and all that. And I have a method, barre chords made easy. That's available for premium members of my website. We'll talk more about that later. But either way, an easy way to play the B minor chord is like this. So my index is on the 2nd fret of the A string. I skip the D string. My middle finger goes on the 2nd fret of G, and then my ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. Either way, this is the hardest part of the song, going G, D over F sharp, C, B minor. Or if you play it with that easy one. And coming out of there, we're going to do our pattern a couple times on A minor, then B minor to D. Now I want to demonstrate the second half of our verse with the metronome. You don't have to play along. You can just watch, see how it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Recommend practicing each half of the verse and then putting it all together. I have a full playthrough where I go through the entire song start to finish. Once again, that's for members of my site. Link down below if you want to check it out. Let's just go straight into the chorus now. Here are the chord shapes. So this is a lot more repetitive. We have C, D, G, and then F sharp 7. You know, once again, some more barre chords. The way that I'd prefer to play it is like this, where we'll start with an E7 shape. So my middle finger will go on the 1st fret of the G string. My ring finger is going to go on the 2nd fret of the A string. Then I go up 1, 2 times, and then I flatten my index along the 2nd fret. But another way to play it is kind of like that B minor shape, except we're moving everything up 1 string. So my index is on the 2nd fret of the thickest string. I skip a string, 2nd fret of the D string, and then my ring finger goes on the 3rd fret of the G string. And I have to be really careful to mute every excess string with my index finger, so that when you pluck it, you just get those 3 notes. So I'm kind of just like slacking putting my elbow back so that my fingers slack a little, and muting those excess strings. Otherwise, the chorus is pretty straightforward. You just have your chord symbols. You add your strumming pattern to each one the appropriate amount of times. Notice we do a couple chords like twice in a row. And that's all there is to it, aside from one small detail, and that is dynamics. We actually bring it way down for the chorus, and we strum much more quietly. We do the same pattern, the same intensity, the same tempo. We're just bringing down the volume. And then it comes right back in on that last 4 measures, C, C, B minor, D, and we're just right back to like full volume, or even louder than our verse, you know, and it just kind of like punches you in the face. And then it comes a little back down a little bit when we go back into the verse. So I'm just going to show you that with my metronome and demonstrate the chorus. Once again, you don't have to play along. You can just see how it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4. gonna get really loud right here. So there's just a sudden bump. It's not like a gradual thing. But on those last 4 measures, starting with that C chord, we just give her. Now there is one other section, and that is the bridge or the outro. And basically how a song goes is you play the verse a couple times, then the chorus, verse, chorus, and then you play this other section and you just stay on this other section until the song ends. I'll write out the chord shapes here. There's no new shapes. I'm just going to demonstrate it one time, but you would play this over and over again until the end of the song. It's probably like 8 or 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, one final touch that I like to add to kind of ramp up the intensity, it's something that you don't necessarily do at particular times, but just whenever you're feeling it. And you can just go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Just play pure down ups, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And it's a great way to kind of drive into the next part of the tune. You know, so like, for instance, at the end of the chorus, mess with us. You know, like it's just a great way to kind of like lead into the next section. Otherwise, those are all the components of the song. And at this point, I recommend printing out the lyrics and chopping it up into those individual components using this lesson and all those lovely little chord charts that I drew out. Because if you print off chords and lyrics, it doesn't tell you how many times to play each chord for. I'd rather have you write it out yourself on, like, just have the lyrics on the left side and write out the chords on the right side in those sections, verse, chorus, bridge, and then learn each section on its own, breaking it down as you need to, just like we did during this lesson. And then you're going to have no problem playing through the song. You're not just going to have your nose in the paper and be following along with it. You're actually going to be in charge of it and know how to play it. And if you want to play along with me, going from start to finish, that's available for members of my website. I have a link down below for more information on that, the courses, and all the other stuff that you get as part of that. It's the best way to support the channel. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. And if you do, please take a moment to subscribe, like the video. Don't forget to grab your copy of my free ebook. Have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you soon.